I want to demonstrate the way to add JCB packages to the community directory. At the moment, if you go to import JCB packages, there's now a new tab called community packages, where we would like to encourage all of you to start sharing packages. Main focus or purpose for it would become to be a quick start for developing components. It could serve as a backup for yourself to easily pull on old packages that you've developed, to maybe have a specific feature, for example linking your Joomla users into your component. I know I have some components that does that, and I often want to reuse that. So you can now, with this new idea, be able to import that component over and over without merging it with the old version, but actually creating a new component, including fields and everything else. And so that way you're able to quickly start a new project, and you don't need to really do all that over again and again. It's sort of similar as the clone feature that now has become available. So JCB Components now has this clone feature. So you could select a component and you can clone it. And in cloning it, it basically creates an exact copy of the component, but not linked to the component. So even the admin views, you'll see it actually create a new admin view. And the same goes for the fields. It actually created a whole new set of fields specifically for this component. You see it's got the same suffix EO. Okay, so that is the clone feature. Now the import feature has the same functionality. So if I was to go and say, let's say, import the demo component, then once it's gotten the component from GitHub, we will see that it has this merge option, or no, don't merge. Now remember, we already have the demo component here, and it is exactly the same component, but I don't want it to update this one. I want it to really bring it in as a new component, and then I'll take this to no. And it does give you a little explanation here. It also tells you that the validation rules, field types, snippet languages, and language strings, these things will still be merged, and that simply is unavoidable. Okay, and then if you want to see, what happens under the hood, and then you click on continue, and what it will do now is obviously give you a whole lot of information of the import and also whatever files it moved, but it actually created a new component. It didn't update the old one. And that is a very nice option, because now you can quickly start with this component without affecting this one. Now you'll see that even the admin view is dislocated. It's not the same admin view. The same again with the fields. So if we look at the fields, you'll see it also has the RA suffix to it, RA. Now this name doesn't anywhere appear in the compiled version of the component. It's all system names. So that RA will just be for your own, to know that this field belongs to this component, and so on. So that's sort of what the new JCB package import option has sort of been improved to manage. Now with the community option, you can actually do what we want to call, well, obviously share, like I've been doing, sharing a lot of information with all of you, components, tools. And so the idea is that all of you would have this attitude of giving back to the community. And the other option is that if you want to distribute a package and at the same time maybe get some marketing, this is also going to be doing that. Okay, so let me illustrate to you the process of getting a package into the community packages. We are going to use GitHub, basically this repository, JCB Community Packages. This is the URL, vdm-io/JCB-community-packages. You will need to fork this package, I'm not going to teach you how to use GitHub. Neither I'm going to teach you how to use Git. I'm going to illustrate it just by doing it, doing what you need to do, demonstrating it to you. But I'm not going to teach you how to do this in a more thorough way. So you need to go and study up GitHub and Git specifically to be able to manage this. And what will happen is anyone who wants to add a package must start by forking the repository. And then once it's been forked, they need to clone it down to the developing environment where they have JCB, or to where they can move a JCB package. Because at the end of the day, they need to add their package which they want to contribute to their forked version of this JCB community packages. And then once they've done all that and they've pushed up the changes to their repository, then they'll make a pull request to add the change into the community version of this repository. Now, I hope that all makes sense to you. You'll get the URL here on your own repository. You copy that, and then you'll go to your developing environment. Hopefully it will be Linux, because you'll need to run a bash script, so it needs to be a bash environment. And yeah, so you could run it in a VM wherever you want just to get it going. So I'm going to open a terminal now, and then in the terminal I'm simply going to clone this repository. And then once it's finished cloning it, we're going to change to that directory. Now, if we list out the items, you'll see that it is exactly the same as what we have here on GitHub. It is literally the same information. And so it is actually a folder on your computer. And we will then now need to go to JCB, extract the package you want to share, and simply place it into this folder, and then run this SHA script. Okay, so let me do that. So here we are in our JCB program, and I want to share this question and answers component. And I would ask that you won't share things that do not work. If you're still busy developing the thing, then it's not time to share it yet. But when it's ready and you know that it works, that means you've compiled it and tested it and you know it's stable, then and you want to share it. It doesn't need to be a big component. It could have just one view. It doesn't matter, but it needs to be something other than already what exists. So no more new demo components. It needs to be something else. So always please check that if you want to contribute something, that it be something that's not already there. And if there is already one and you want to improve it, sure, then you can do that. You can pull it in, make it better, and make a pull request to improve it. But just know that we'll have to be able to test it. So if you're using a key, then the person that you get it from, you can't contribute it without a key back. In fact, if someone places a package in the community and has a key, then they sort of lock out everybody else, because then only they can improve it. But as soon as they take the key away, then everybody else can improve it, because there is no key and it doesn't matter. We all can check it out. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how all this is going to work out. I am very open to all of you to just give me feedback, input, how you think this should be done. The idea is not to infringe on each other's projects, but to help each other get projects going quite quickly. That's really the agenda. The idea is, if you want to build a project, let's get something that can sort of serve as a base from which to start. So this question and answers program is a very nice base. It's got just a few views, a few fields, and it's got a very simple, straightforward implementation of Q&A for your front end of your website. And so I thought, well, this is a nice thing to sort of use as a demonstration. So I'm going to export this. wait a minute, let me just show you something else before we do that. Let's go into the component. And those of you who want to maybe give away the component, but you want to sort of have people first visit maybe a video that you've made, the way you could do this is by this buy link here. You'll basically make that link direct to your video, so that when they click on the buy link, they go to the video where you're going to give them the key for free, and they can watch the video, get the key, come back and open the package. We're not currently already implementing package link. The package link should be where the package is, which most of the time will be the repository, which is why we're not fully implementing this, because it's sort of we don't need it. So we left it here maybe for future purposes, but at the moment we don't need it. The way we've set up things, you can sort of just use the repo URL, so we don't. So this only the buy link that's really important. If it's not a free package, or if it's a free package but you're giving the key away. So the other idea is not to add a key at all. So if you don't add a key here, then it will be a free package. This is how you make something a free package. It's just leaving the key out. That's simple as that. And then it'll be a free package. Whereas if you leave the key in, then people will have to get the key from you. And if you're going to contribute it to the community, then you'll need to share the key with the admin of the repository, so that they can validate the component and check that it's safe for distribution. We'll still put some things in place, maybe a form, a procedure on how to do this inside of JCB, or maybe just in the read more of the repository. But yeah, we'll give you a heads up when that happens. For now, the explanation is simple. If you want to have people get the key from you, wherever they need to get it, whether free or paid, needs to be this link here. And the key, this here is what we use to build the key. It's not the actual key. It's just used to build the key. So you can put in anything here really. Okay, now once you've got all that in place, you will compile your component, or export the JCB package really, that's the right name. So once you've got the component exported, then the package is available in a specific directory called temporal directory in your developing environment. And this is the package that you want to add to the repository. And this is the key that you now need to give to everybody that wants to use the package. So this key can nowhere be found unless on this page, which now where you compiled it. So store this key in a safe place, or use it in your video and give it to the people in the right time, however you like to do this. The next step would be to now move this package into the repository which we cloned down to your local developing environment. So here I've got the folder open where the package is. So you see there, it's following that path which we found when we look at this. It's the same path. So basically we're going to just drag and drop the file into the other folder, which is where that cloned repository is at the moment, in my home folder. So here we have the package been added, and we're basically done. And we can close this one out and go back to the terminal. Once in the terminal, if you say git status, you'll see that it tells you that there's one file that isn't being tracked. Now, before you add the file, you first need to run the hash SHA program, which is a bash little script. So you need bash to run it, and two other programs actually. Let me quickly show you that. It's this JQ and SHA1 sum. These two programs is also required, and the script will actually shout at you that if it doesn't exist, it will say, hey, okay, you need to get these. So if you can just Google JQ bash install, and it will give you information and adding these two programs to your developing environment. and then run that script. What that script will do is very simple. It will go through the files in the repository that are zip files. That's what it does here. It'll create a sum, and then it will place the sum in a file with the same name, except add the SHA to the file name. So there it adds it. Then it will grab information, get a shop file name, then unzip the file to get the info.phvdm file from the zip package, then change that to the shop file name, which should be the same as your package name, just with info as the derivative, which is what we need to show the people what your package name is and who owns it and these things. So that's where that info comes from. Then it takes that information and it adds it to an array, which then later gets written to the checksum.json. That's all this does. Nothing, not smart really. It's just straightforward, some little bash to get the information from the file for you without having any issues, and that it just sort of follow convention. So I'm going to go run the file now, and you can see what it does. So basically you add the dot here, make sure you're in the repository, then the dot, and then the hash.sh, and enter. And it should just do that, as simple as that. It shouldn't take long, and if it did, then something's wrong. This is all it should do. Now, if you again do the get status, you'll see that now there are actually 3 files that have not been tracked, and the checksum file has been modified. And why? Because there is now a new line being added to the checksum. So if we do git div, you'll see that your component, the one that you are adding, this one, is being added. And so that line was changed because it got a comma, but this is the new line that it is added. So it basically just added your component to the checksum. And that is all that should change. You shouldn't change any other files in the repository. Only the ones that you're contributing are the ones that you must change. Okay, so there we go. The next thing is to git add those files, so that if you do git status, they are now green. Now the comment. The comment, I think there's a lot of convention out there. I'm not so keyed up on all of that. So at the moment, I think we can do git then added question and answers package. I think that's simple enough. And then press enter. Oops, I left out something, and that's the commit word. So it should say git commit and then am. The M is for the message and the A is for pushing it all into the branch. So there we go. And then you have, if you have a passphrase, then which you should actually have, then there you have your commit signed. If you don't know how to sign commits in Git, then please Google that and get your keys in place. We would expect that all commits to this repo be signed, especially since we need to be sure that it is you that are making the commit. Now, when you've done all that, you'll do git, and you'll push it up to your repository on GitHub. At this point, you are still not affecting the community repository. It is just affecting the repository that you forked, and that is a very secure way of dealing with this. So if we now go back to GitHub and we refresh the page, you'll see that it'll say this branch is one commit ahead of VDM, and then there's this make a pull request. So you make a pull request there, and it will basically take you to the main repository, and it will explain to you which one is being pulled where, and it will tell you that it is able to be merged, and that this is the information that's being added for the info, for the SHA, and obviously for the package, which it doesn't show because it's too big. CC binary file not shown. There it is. And so there's also the changes to the checksum. Now at this point, you need to create a pull request. So you click on create pull request, and this comment that you made in your repository when you contributed the package would usually be added as the title. If you want to give a little explanation of things that we as the admin team need to anticipate, because we're going to obviously have to test this now. We can't add packages to the community package branch without being able to test it. So if you have a key for the package, then yes, I think we will create a form eventually where you will be able to submit that, and we will put that in the information, because at the moment this area doesn't even have a pull request template. So we will add a pull request template so that when you create a pull request, it tells you where to send a key. So at the moment, if there's no pull request, maybe just keep the packages coming that are free at the moment. As soon as the template's in place, then you can use it, and then make a pull request. And then I'm at the moment the only one that manage this, but I hope that others would get involved. There are some other developers already quite involved on the JCB repository, but I would like to also encourage them to get involved here and be able to sort of help me test these packages, make sure that only valid and stable packages gets added. And so that's really it. Here you now click create pull request. Now I'm going to do this because it's a little premature. I want to I don't want to pull this into the repository at this stage. I'm going to do so later, but the point is, this is the procedure that you need to follow to actually get a package into the community packages, because once it gets merged into the master branch, it will also become available on this page automatically. So automatically it will show up in this drop down. In fact, that is as simple as it is. Well, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please open a issue at the correct place. So if you want to talk about the packages for the community, open an issue here. Please don't make open issues at JCB's repository regarding this issue, so that we'll have clear separation between these two concepts. Okay, thanks for watching.